Okay, in this video, we're gonna look at the members of KATSEYE. If you haven't kept up, their concept has like changed a lot from their debut. It's definitely a little bit more racy. They say that they like their changing concept, and I do want to take that at face value, but I'm just curious, like, is this something they're kind of pushed to do? Is it something that they initiated? How do they actually feel about maybe showing a bit more skin, having a little, a little bit more va-va-boom? I'm trying to avoid using a word because I don't want YouTube to get mad at me. Anyway, we're going to see how they feel about their concepts. With that being said, everything I say is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only, and with peace and love, and let's go. Okay. This is Megan, Daniela, Yoonchae, Sophia, Lara, and Manon. This is Megan, right? Yes. Megan is the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, and let me tell you something. I get that from Megan kind of a lot. It talks about like not taking care of yourself, not nurturing yourself. It can also be something. It's always her. Like this is 100% like the card that's assigned to Megan because I get this card for her a lot. Not favorable 100%. Knight of Pentacles, Page of Swords. Page of Swords in the reverse position makes me think that there's something like either she's not allowed to vocalize or it's like what she says isn't landing to whoever she needs to say it to. IDK. Temperance is a lack of balance, especially when it comes to like emotional things. One more. Ooh, okay, wait, one more. Sorry, that was a crazy card. Not planning. I don't think this is what she expected their concept to turn into, to be honest. Like when she signed up to be in like KATSEYE, when they announced the final lineup, what she thought that the concept was going to be and what it is very different. I wouldn't say she was like, we're going to stay in like touch era forever, but it's like, this is very different than what she expected. There's something about, oh my God, okay. Don't play with me. I like KATSEYE. I root for the girlies. I worry about them. There's something like Megan feels inadequate. That's the word that like I heard very strongly is I feel inadequate. I suppose in there, girl, I don't even really know what their concept is. It's a lot of showing skin. It's a lot of like kind of like clown imagery. And I don't mean that in a shady way. Like I have no idea what they're kind of going for, except maybe just like different. But there's something she's like, I feel inadequate. There's to me, it's weird. Like when this happens every time I'm in Megan's energy, it's very hazy. I think Megan feels like she gets the short end of the stick. I feel like I've seen that discourse before online. Loki, I don't follow like the closest attention to KATSEYE. Because some people are like, bitch, you know everything. But like, I do feel like Megan gets and I remember that one interview with KATSEYE was like, it's a sensitive topic when it comes to like who gets the best outfits. Megan's aware she gets the short end of the stick a lot, or she thinks she does. Because there's something about like not like a lack of balance. But this is sort of like, this is crazy. I keep getting hit with like these insights. I also feel like there's something about, because this card's weird, right? Well, actually, let's take both of these. And let's take this one, actually. So it's sort of like, this is like not giving and taking, a lack of emotional balance. But this is doing something sneaky and shady. And this is poor planning. Outfits are like used like strategically. Okay, so there's something kind of like shady about it. Like it's used, like someone gets the short end of the stick so fans fight, or maybe it's so the girls fight, so it's more competitive like within. And I've said this for kind of a while. I think there's something that is done, I think in a lot of K-pop groups, but I think in KATSEYE specifically, where it's like they foster competition or like this animosity, I think to like keep the fire under them or something. I'm not sure. But there's something weird and strategic about the outfits that the company gives the girls or the person who designs their outfits. There's something about it. It's like it's meant to make us talk. And not even, I guess, always from necessarily, like, it's too much skin showing, but just, like, if the outfit's really weird, or, like, people claim it's ugly, or it's, like, it creates fights. There's something about that. But I will say, when it comes to Megan, she doesn't like that. I don't feel like she gets a lot of say in, like, what she looks like, or dresses like, or what her outfits are. I think maybe some, but not really. I feel like the kind of say that she gets in the outfits is maybe how something fits. But it's sort of like the outfit's already designed, and then like in the fitting, it's like, can this be a little tighter? Can this be a little looser? Could this be a little bit more whatever, this way or that way? I also get the impression, we're spending a lot of time on Megan, I'm sorry. I also get the impression, because the Page of Swords is in the reverse position, which is like a pretty young card. There's something about like, let's say like she's in a fitting, right? And she wants something to be longer, she wants something altered or whatever, or she wants something kind of like tweaked. It's sort of like, she's like, hey, can this change? And then the person who's ever like in charge of the outfit is sort of like, well, it's meant to be this way, almost kind of like trying to dissuade her from making changes. It's sort of like on paper, they encourage you, the members, I guess, to like, have more agency about what they wear, but it's sort of like when you try to, it's like there's a lot of like rigmarole, or it's sort of like you're dissuaded from it in one way or another. The outfits from Megan's perspective feel very strategic. I wouldn't say to be honest, I wouldn't say she hates the outfits. I wouldn't say she enjoys it, to be honest, especially because the first card we got was the Queen of Pentacles, which is like not nurturing, not taking care of yourself. I don't feel like she feels comfortable in a lot of the outfits that they put her in, to be honest. But it seems almost like she's not really like locked into her uncomfortability. I don't know how to explain this. It would be like if she like put on an outfit, for example, and then she's like, oh, like she looks in the mirror and she's like, I don't look like my members, or I feel like I don't look good in this, whatever like thoughts come up about it. It's sort of like she's like, well, I have to go to stage. Like she's not really like thinking that hard about it or really exploring that much about her emotions. She's sort of like, I'm uncomfortable and like now we gotta get to work. I don't know if this is like naturally how she is or just like what's been happening in KATSEYE. It's pretty interesting though. Okay, well, thank you, Megan. Ooh, girl. Who's this? This is Daniela. The Knight of Wands is like passionate, fiery, like heading towards something. It's a quick moving card. And then, ooh, that's like a not feeling elevated. Like you can go your own way. Not the devil, girl, bye. And the Hierophant. I hate this energy because this is like this should be like a really like positive card because it's sort of like I feel passionate, I feel like artistic. Having the Six of Wands in the reverse is sort of like I'm not the leader of my own journey. I feel like my power's kind of been taken away, or it's like more specifically I should say, the direction that I want to go in, I like don't have control over. The devil though is being chained to something toxic, and the Hierophant is sort of like following the rules, basically. One more, and the Fool. Girl, I'm just reading pictures on cards, but if I'm honest, I don't feel like Daniela particularly likes the direction that they're heading in. But for one reason or another, I do feel more confident that she doesn't like the styling and the concept. There's something about that she doesn't like, which is interesting, right? Because I would have thought that Daniela would be one of the people who are more gung-ho with it. I don't really remember what she said about their concept. I wouldn't say I don't know. Because the other thing, too, is like the devil, to me, feels like there's somebody that like is pushing Daniela to do things. I don't know how to explain this. I think I want more cards, honestly. That's like a financial incentive or reward, strength, empowerment. I hate this energy, bro. Because this should be positive, but this is like false empowerment. That's how it feels. And this is like doing things. It's literally okay. I need to lock in for a second because this feels almost like I'm not in charge of where I want to go. There's something like toxic controlling me or sort of leading me in this direction. I'm following what I'm told to. And okay, you guys, I already feel like people are going to get mad at me for this reading, but I feel like Daniela, I like Daniela. I root for her. And when I'm in her energy, I don't feel like she's necessarily the most complex person on the planet. You know what I mean? So this is sort of like, she is somebody, and I think that's maybe why she's good at this job or like ended up in this job, because it's like she's definitely someone, you tell her what to do and like she'll do it. That's what it's giving. So it's sort of like, I don't feel like Daniela thinks that hard, perhaps, about like how she feels, but like if I imagine myself as Daniela and I'm like looking in the mirror and like they're wearing one of like their stage outfits, it's sort of like, I don't feel comfortable in this, but like I'm told that I look good and I'm told that this gets us attention and I'm told this is like the right thing to do, so like sure. It's sort of like this quiet intuition she either doesn't have access to or she doesn't listen to that's telling her like I don't feel comfortable in this. I have no idea if it's like, whenever I try to ask in my mind, is it because they're showing a lot of skin, or is it just because she doesn't like the styling of it? I can't tell. It's something like to do with, I think, how it makes her feel, though, at the very least. It might be like comments people make about her outfits or whatever, but she does have like a lot of like people who work around her telling her like this is the right thing to do, or you look great, or like ignore the comments. There's something about that. But it's sort of like, I think to a degree, like when Daniela reads comments, she like, it kind of like does something to her where she's like, wait a minute, because it's sort of like, oh my god, I just got it. This is gonna be crazy. Y'all are gonna be so mad at me. I feel like the members of KATSEYE kind of live in an edited reality a little bit. Almost like, I wouldn't say like they're so tightly controlled, like they don't see what like the online discourse is, but it's sort of like if they see like a mean comment, they probably get a lot of those on like their video or whatever. It's sort of like the company tells them like, oh, those people are haters, or like they don't know what they're talking about. Even the comment was mean, but they also made good points. It's sort of like those points, like the company already has like a reason why that's not real. Is that crazy? Is that too much of a conspiracy? That's what it feels like though, because this feels very illusionary. But sort of like, trust us, like you're empowered here, you're making money here. But the Fool is sort of like falling off a cliff, because usually this should be like maturing, which I guess makes sense with their concept. But the Fool is like, when you're this way, it's like you're going la-di-da, like you're like exploring, you're taking a deep breath. In the reverse, it's sort of like you're gonna fall off a cliff because you're like not wise enough. I'm not trying to say Daniela's dumb. It's interesting, when I'm in her energy, she doesn't think that hard about it, but emotionally there's like an unease, I should say. But like on paper, if you were like in the room with her, she'd be like, yeah, like this is just the outfits they give us. Like, sure, like I'm a performer. That makes sense too. She's done ballroom, right? So it's sort of like she probably wears this type of stuff a lot. Maybe I actually don't really. When it comes to their concept, I feel like she's uneasy deep down. But also it's sort of like people tell me I look good. Like this is what the outfits are given. Like, and also there's a lot of like, think about Adela, for example, who I believe chooses her own outfits. I have no idea. But it's like no one looks at Adela crazy for what she wears. Or maybe they do. IDK. I'm babbling. Who's this? Yoonchae is the moon, which is like a secret, something hidden. That's like getting started. Action. Fighting? Ooh. Uh-oh. Knight of Swords? Burden struggle. This is strange. I don't get this. I'm just gonna read the cards as they are. IDK. We don't know, right? But this is kind of giving like Yoonchae pushes back a lot. I need one more card. I don't think Yoonchae likes the concept, period. You know, for a long time, just like personally, like viewing the group, I kind of thought, number one, like people always highlight that Yoonchae's the maknae, even though she's like really close in age to the rest of the members. They're all like, what, like a couple years apart from one another. I kind of thought the reason why Yoonchae got somewhat like more conservative outfits was because she's Korean and that she's the maknae, and that's why the company did that to like, even if she's like 18 and they were doing crazy shit with Megan when she was 18, this is giving Yoonchae pushes back. Or someone on her behalf. IDK. I'm not trying to take Miss Thing's agency away, but I can't tell if it's from her or someone is like doing it on her behalf or she's being told to do this from someone like in her personal sphere or whatever. But this is because this is sort of like well, let's start from the beginning. This is like being undercover, because like the moon is something that happens in darkness, right? There's something about Yoonchae I don't particularly think likes their concept, but more specifically, I don't feel like she likes the styling of the clothes, and I also don't feel like she personally feels maybe that comfortable like showing a lot of skin. I think Yoonchae likes mature concepts, and I do think that she likes like the sexiness of it, but I don't feel like she likes this types of. Okay, I'm gonna say something, bro. This reading, I didn't realize. We're not gonna say that Yoonchae said this because we don't know. This is just tarot. I heard like she thinks that their styling is a little slutty. Girl, I don't know. That's what it's giving though. She's sort of like, I like mature concepts. I like the adult aspect of it. Like I don't want to be babied, but she's sort of like the sort of like sexiness that we're doing is more slutty. I'm thinking more like femme fatale. That's how she views it. I would say she actually is someone who advocates to maybe be a bit more covered up, because this is like time for action. She's not passive about this. This is burden and struggle, which to me means, especially in my mind's eye, I see like a tug of war. Almost like she's like in a tug of war with like whoever designs their outfits or whatever, and it's sort of like, no, like I don't want to wear this. I want to wear this. This is also like a card of like, I don't think I have it in order, but that's fine. Because this is like rushing. Like I have to tell you my like will. Knight of Swords. Swords is communication. So I feel very locked in suddenly. So it's sort of like, I don't feel comfortable in this. And then you have the Five of Swords, which is sort of like going in for a fight, going back in for a fight. And the Hanged Man in the reverse position, which is sort of like needing new perspectives. I don't think she likes the concept. And I specifically think that Yoonchae is someone who strongly pushes back when she's uncomfortable with an outfit. I think it depends on the outfit. I think it depends on the day. Yoonchae is someone that's like that. I think that's something that she's actually quite advocating of herself. I do think she's done this for a while, which is maybe why the company respects her. This isn't to say that Yoonchae is like super conservative and like prudish in that sense, but it's like if she's uncomfortable with an outfit, she's like, I want this longer, or I want like longer safety shorts, or like something to like cover up. That's very. I am so surprised because I thought they did this because Yoonchae is just like Korean and young, but no, it's like she's like But again, it's not like she hates all like the sexiness. It's just sort of like a lot of times she's like, this isn't my style. This isn't like the vibe I'm going for. I want to be cohesive with the group. It's interesting. I don't know why Yoonchae specifically feels like empowered to say this stuff. Maybe it's just because like culturally, like that's just not what they do in Korea. So she's like, this is weird. Gucci gang, like it's interesting. I will say, I don't think she likes the concept that they're doing. I don't think this is what she expected the group would turn into either. That's surprising. I really want to know, like, does Yoonchae like actually like get in like tiffs? I wouldn't say it's fighting, but she's definitely very like, no, I can't wear that. We gotta alter this, Gucci gang. Like, I really think she does that. I'm so happy for Yoonchae. Work. Stop it. I'm so annoying. Okay. I do think this is Yoonchae. I will say, I don't know if like she has someone in the room operating on her behalf. Maybe she has like an interpreter, low-key. Maybe she tells the interpreter to like say that. But like because I said this in a previous reading, I was like, there's someone that like is operating on Yoonchae's behalf. Like it feels like her dad or maybe like a lawyer or something that is like trying to like navigate her career for her, which is I think good because she's in like a brand new country, you know what I mean? But there's something like, I wouldn't say this person is like in the room talking like if she's getting an outfit altered, but it's sort of like she has like guidance about her career. So this person is like, you can't be like going out there like showing all your bits, girl. Like we need some sort of like, I guess also because like in case she goes back to Korea, she doesn't want like her whole career like obliterated. There's something about that. This is personal. If I were to explain, I think this is genuinely what Yoonchae wants. She doesn't feel super comfortable with like hyper sexual outfits. At the same time, she's being kind of like guided. This person though feels like they feel helpful, if not maybe a little controlling. I don't know who this person would be. It feels kind of like her dad, but we'd get a different card. But the Emperor is sort of like power. But it doesn't feel power from her. It feels like power over her, but it doesn't feel in a negative way. It just feels in kind of like a fatherly way, IDK. If it's not her dad, it's someone like that. Someone who's like, they have her best interest at heart, but it's also kind of like, at some point she's an adult. And the Ten of Swords in the reverse position is sort of, we're not going to let this go. So it's sort of like, I do think Yoonchae will, for a while more, maybe like the entire time they're in KATSEYE, it's like she's going to have more conservative outfits. I'm so surprised. I thought it was because she was Korean. No, ma'am. They're like, we're not doing this, babe. I'm so surprised. Work, Yoonchae. I'm happy for her. Okay. This is Sophia. Talking forever. Sophia is the Three of Cups in the reverse position, which is like a lack of merriment in group. Lack of a harvest. Not a good card for a girl group, I'm going to be honest. Ace of Pentacles in the reverse position is like lacking a reward, not getting what you're owed. Ooh, my God. That's like another card that has to do with disharmony when it comes to like friendship, family, home, etc. Oh, but this feels less like the members. This feels like her actual family. Ace of Cups, fulfillment. Ooh, wait, I'm confused. Building, working together. Okay, I'll stop for a second, but I want more questions. Okay. I feel like Sophia is another person that feels like she gets the short end of the stick, or she, I think to a degree, kind of compares her outfits to the other members, and she's sort of like, my outfits are either not as show-stopping, not as interesting, or they're just not as good, or sometimes even well-made. That's literally what I think. It's sort of like she's like, well, this, again, like she doesn't feel like she ever is like the one that people are drawn to when it comes to the outfit. Ace of Pentacles, yes, because again, that's like reward. Like I'm not getting rewarded. I'm not getting like the prize, if you will. But this to me, like I think this, and I think her family. Like her family comments maybe on the outfits that she wears or the styling or something. I don't know anything about Sophia's family. They seem nice. I don't know if they're more like conservative. I really don't know a lot about the Philippines. I've always wanted to go. It seems lovely. But there's something about like, I don't know if the Philippines is like looking maybe at how KATSEYE has changed and there's like judgment there. I'm not sure. Because there's something about her family not liking, not even necessarily how Sophia is styled, but KATSEYE at large, and that like Sophia is associated with KATSEYE. There's something about that. I think they're in her ear a lot, but it's very kind of like, you know when you're like talking to like your parent on the phone or whatever, and they're just kind of like commenting, and it's just sort of like, oh, like I didn't like, you know, like if they saw something like you posted on social media, that's what it's giving. It's sort of like, oh, like that was like a really low cut top that you wore to like Lollapalooza, for example. She gets that a lot, but it's not really like controlling necessarily. They comment on it. I think they advise her about like future and stuff like that. I feel like Sophia is somebody, her family feels very classy to me. And to be fair, I feel like Sophia is someone who dresses classy in her downtime. There's something about, like, they kind of advise her, like, not to cheapen your brand. I think Sophia feels a little bit pulled between, like, like, what she... How do I explain this? I think she feels pulled between both cultures of like being in America, and it's sort of like we're definitely in kind of like a Y2K, a little bit like slutty vibe, you know what I mean? And that's fine. She's pulled between that and like LA culture, of course. She's pulled between that and like her roots in the Philippines, where IDK what the women be wearing up in there. But I think specifically her like echelon in the Philippines, she's pulled between those two things, because I think she kind of does actually enjoy like the like costumey-ness of like performing. I don't know if she like thinks that much about the concept, to be honest. I don't think she loves it, but she tolerates it. I think she just enjoys performing. She's happy to be singing and like in front of people. IDK, it's almost like she has bigger fish to fry. Whenever I'm in Sophia's energy, it's like I feel pulled, like Laffy Taffy in like 20 different directions. It's really interesting. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Cups is like a fulfillment, and this is like working together, collaboration. The Empress. I think Sophia, interestingly enough, I wouldn't say it's like happy and like this is exactly what I would have chosen if I was in charge, but in general, I don't feel a lot of conflict about it. I think she feels pulled between cultures and like she balances that, and I think her parents or her family in general sometimes comment. But I also feel like, because this is collaboration, I feel like if Sophia has like a desire to alter something, they listen. Or there's like a more collaborative nature. It seems like between Sophia, maybe the other members, and also maybe the people who design stuff for them. It's really interesting. I don't think it's like Sophia's like, I want this done, and they do it, but it's like there's a collaborativeness. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know why, because it's like, that was not giving with Megan. I'm not sure why. I feel like the members actually kind of are treated a little differently based on who you talk to. It's weird. I don't know if they know to the extent, and I don't even know if I know to the extent, but it's weird. It's like, maybe because they come from different cultures, so there's different like expectations for that. Because like Sophia's like from the Philippines. There's differences and expectations there. She's also like kind of subcast or like typecast into being more of like the classy, refined leader. So maybe that's why, like IDK. Because I do think Sophia also gets more conservative outfits. But then versus like taking care of yourself, feeling yourself feminine. If she's wearing more like skin showing outfits, it's like she feels good in that. Honestly, it's not necessarily empowerment, but she got no cards that were very like, I'm insecure, I don't like this, I hate this. It's interesting. To be fair though, Sophia's someone I think that doesn't typically show a lot of clothes, and I think it's because she like asks, or they just put her in stuff that's like not as showy. IDK. It's interesting. I'm surprised. This is Lara. Page of Cups in the reverse position, which is like not feeling lucky. Maybe like you can emotionally, creatively express. Being bound up. Ooh, tied up mentally. Not the best card. Stall and delay. Not being able to move forward. This is like a money, giving and taking to one thing. The Tower. Something needs to change, but it's not going to change. I'm surprised. Because it seemed like Lara was someone who really liked the vibe that they were going for. I don't know why she's getting this. This is sort of like immaturity and creativity, but more specifically, this feels like I can't enact my will creatively. This is like a lot of like mental thinking, being bound up mentally. Also in speech as well. Almost like she can't like share what she desires. I kind of want one more card. Death. Oh my god. Okay. IDK, bro. Like, I just have to go with what the cards are saying. But per the cards, it's sort of like Lara doesn't 100% love what they're up to, what they're doing. There's something about it. She doesn't like it. Honestly, the word I heard was glamorous. Glamorous. That's what, I don't know. I think she maybe wants more glamorous looks or whatever. I actually don't know what Lara dresses like when she's not styled or like doing stuff with cats. I have no idea what she wears. But there's something she doesn't like the direction. It's interesting. It's almost like it's like, I think I've said this for a very long time. I think Lara needs a lot of creative input in what she's doing, which is kind of strange why she, chose like K-pop to kind of enact her creativity, but that's all right. There's something about, I think their concept, I think their outfits, everything's very tightly controlled. For Lara, it's sort of like, I feel emotionally stifled. I feel like if I have input, they don't listen, or it's like I have to kind of like bite my tongue. The death is like not changing, not rebirthing, to like evolve. The Tower is like something needing to change. But there's something here about like, girl, I'm stressed out. This seems so like not what she talks about publicly though. But there's something like, this is a little regressive. IDK. But there's something about like, she's like, we dress this way because like it causes controversy. There's a sense of like sex selling. I don't think she likes that motive. She's sort of like, I want creativity for creativity's sake. And I feel like KATSEYE, their concept and how they dress is creative. I don't 100% understand it. Maybe I'm just not sophisticated enough. Judgment. Literally, it's sort of like they dress us this way because it causes controversy, and like there's a lot of judgment, there's a lot of like comments, there's people who are like, I love it, and people who are like, I hate it, and they like fight in the comment section, and that like boosts engagement. That's literally this happens a lot with Lara, where it's like she's thinking more from a strategic standpoint, and I can't like get her emotions. She's like kind of guarded about that. It's a Scorpio thing, I swear to God. But from Lara's perspective, it's sort of like there's something that she wishes she could change. I wouldn't say it's like 100% like a complete one. Well, maybe. You know what I keep thinking? Like in my mind's eye, Mariah Carey keeps popping up. That's literally what, I don't know. Like maybe like Mariah Carey because she's kind of like a diva and like glamorous, and she wants something like that. Like more like the Y2K of like Fergie, for example, IDK. So she wants something that's like very big and glamorous in that way. Because it's like there's something about it's not even necessarily that she hates what they dress like, or this feels more from a creative point and more of like what our styling actually means, rather than being uncomfortable with like the skin showing or like the just on it from a sexual point. It's more like she doesn't like the underlying message or like why they're doing it, rather than just what it looks like. Although I don't think this is 100% Lara's taste. I'm surprised. I thought she was one of the people that was like most into this. But there's something like, it's like, I wish we could change this. She doesn't feel like she has enough power or voice. I don't know if it's like the Americans in the group low-key like have less of a say, because it's like, I don't know. It's interesting. But it's like Megan, who was the other one that we did? Daniela and Lara feel much less empowered to speak up than it seems like Sophia and Yoonchae. It's strange. But also, I think these are maybe more conservative cultures. IDK. This is Manon. Of course, she has not been in the group for like, what, 6 months? But let's see how she feels about the styling. She's probably paying attention, right? She must see it. Let's see what Miss Thing thinks. Okay. King of Pentacles, that's like a controlled masculine energy in the reverse position, unhappy. Queen of Swords, I feel like that's Manon's energy, the more I'm familiar with her, but Queen of Swords in the reverse position is like speaking imperfectly. Four of Cups in the reverse position, dissatisfaction, contemplation turning into action. One more. Working at something, building something. This feels kind of like a manifesto more than anything, but the World in the reverse is like a lack of completion, which means that she's still like in like the thick of whatever her contract is with KATSEYE and Hivex Geffen IDK, because this feels like she's still kind of in limbo. Something's not been completed yet. King of Pentacles in the reverse position is like CEO energy, so in my mind it seems sort of like somebody who's in charge of KATSEYE or the money of KATSEYE or the marketability of KATSEYE. They're displeased still with Manon. Manon is the Queen of Swords, which is sort of like, I can't speak honestly. This is like a lack of fulfillment, like contemplation. I just see her like with her arms crossed, like mad, just sort of like in her room, like stomping around, like in circles, like I'm stuck and I'm frustrated. This is the Eight of Pentacles, which is good news because it's like working at something, beating at something. 10, Legacy. Ooh, Legacy Panda. This is separation though. Girl, Manon's like, I don't give a fuck about their concept. The High Priestess in the reverse position, not following your higher path. The Lovers, though. On a personal contractual level, I still think Manon's in limbo, and she's upset about that. I think that's actually consuming a lot of her mental energy and emotional energy these days. I think she's deeply stressed out and frustrated by all of this. More than I think she lets on. Like, this actually has been very hurtful, stressful, painful for her. But on like the styling note, for whatever reason, this card makes me, y'all are gonna get so mad. This card makes me think of Daniela. The Lovers in the reverse makes me think of Daniela. And there's something about like, I don't know if they talk. I think maybe I don't know if this is, it seems like this is pre-hiatus though, and I don't really remember what they were like dressing like before pre-hiatus. I think it was just starting to become a little bit more scandalous, but it wasn't like full send as it seems to be right now. But there's something like, because when I don't know so strongly, when I look at this card, I see Manon and Daniela and they're like talking. And it's like something to do with like the direction that they're going in, and I just see them shaking their head, but I don't know what they're saying. I don't know what they're talking about. It's just like I'm watching them from like far away and they're like shaking their head no. I don't know if Manon was like hip or maybe they already knew the direction that they were going in. I have this suspicion that if Manon was in the group, she would seem very like gung-ho in interviews. She'd be like, oh, like I love, like so cunty, like this is so cool. Behind the scenes, I think she would kind of share the same perspective of Lara though, of sort of like, I don't like the reason we're doing this, but I don't really have issues with what it looks like. That's what it's giving for Manon. Almost like something about like how they're being told what to dress like, or the reason that they were told that they're dressing like. I think it would actually rub Manon the wrong way. I think she knows what's happening, even if she's not like in it in the mix. But I don't think she would feel weird about like skin showing or like how sexual it is. Like that doesn't seem like what would bother her. It's the reason why. It's interesting though. But I think so much of herself is consumed by being on like a hiatus. Like, girl, what is this? I'm actually so frustrated because it's like, cut her loose or do something. Like, it's kind of evil. Like the longer this stretches out, because she literally is like stuck in limbo. Well, I don't feel like anyone is, maybe Megan, and I'm always worried about Megan. She just seems like she's like deeply uncomfortable, but it's like, she's like, well, we gotta keep going. Show must go on. It's sad. Everyone else, I think, has their own struggles with this for various reasons. Well, I don't know, girl. I felt very like all over the place with this IDK, and I'm also surprised because what I thought was gonna happen did not happen. Who knows? Please tell me what you think. I just read pictures on cards. Okay, well, peace and love.